send the links.
So, remember how I mentioned that Bearmon that became a Grapleomon that became a Marsmon?
Mm-hmm.
You've already met him.
Huh?
He was Little Bearmon.
Oh.
And if I recall, you were a bit iffy on Big Bearmon, his attitude.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what happens to him, or should I just wait till you find it yourself?
Okay. Okay, I'm going to ask one question. Just a yes or no. Does he become a Mad Leomon?
Yes, but not by that name.
Fuck!
For whatever reason, they changed the name.
What'd they change it to?
Callousmon, I believe?
Wait, Callousmon's a different...
But he looked close enough that my brain just kind of only saw Bad Leomon.
Alright, fair enough. Alright.
He had the same general build.
Hello, guys, ghouls, and non-binary fools.
He's got it!
Woo! Welcome back to the Cavern of Spooks once again. Today, it is just a Bear and Mekumon production.
As Webb will not be here, we've decided to save the game we were going to play for a later date.
Yep. And
Get well soon, Webb.
Yes, get well soon, Webb. And knowing Taro, he will probably opt out so that he can spend time with Webb.
Which, you know, no judgment there. I completely understand that urge.
Yep. So, it's me and the cat today. As
you know, the unpaid co-host.
As we go on one of our classic adventures.
How to troll a computer in 30 minutes. I mean,
System Shock. Oh boy, I have heard so much about System Shock.
Honestly, if they announced a System Shock 3 or whatever the number would be tomorrow, I'd be all over it.
Wait, is this? It is. It's Night Dive Studios. These guys are awesome. They've been bringing back older games. They
the Unreal Engine, so you know it's gonna run at least relatively smooth.
Yep. Like they brought back The Thing, the PS2 game. They remade it, remastered it, whatever you want to call it. And they've done that with a bunch of games.
Oh, hey, I didn't think we'd see Terra Venture again.
So, before we start the game, I want to sum up my feelings on System Shock. I've grown up listening to videos, or like listening to people talk about System Shock. Okay, System Shock was released...
Like, if memory serves, it was basically Doom-esque. As far as, like, gameplay and graphics go.
Like, slightly high-res Doom. This game originally came out in 1994.
It's as old as I am!
Yes. So, What we're playing is a remake of the.
Omeros.
We're playing a remake of this of the original game. But it still doesn't change the fact that the original System Shock and System Shock 2 were very influential in gaming history. And the fact that I could not go like 5 minutes without hearing something about System Shock growing up. Especially once I learned about G4, the TV channel, because like half the time that's like all the some of the time that's all they would talk about. Other times it'd be whatever the hell programming they thought was a good idea. Anyway, and also like Screw Attack back in the day talked about System Shock. So many people, like in the early internet days, would talk about this and the sequel, primarily the sequel. But it really how do I put this? It was I guess you would say it was like a hallmark of games or benchmark. I don't know. Either way, it was very influential. It although, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page. Critics praised System Shock and hailed it as a major breakthrough in its genre. It was later placed on multiple Hall of Fame lists. The game was a moderate commercial success with sales exceeding 170,000 copies, but Looking Glass ultimately, the company that published it, or developed it rather, ultimately lost money on the project. A sequel, System Shock 2, was released by Looking Glass Studios and an offshoot developer, Irrational Games, in 1999. The 2000 game Deus Ex, produced and directed by...
Hang on a second. I mean, you keep going. I have to mute for a second.
Okay. Deus Ex, produced and directed by the original System Shock, System Shock's, the publisher, produced. No, god damn. Sorry. What is wrong with me today? Deus Ex was produced and directed by the original System Shock's producer, Warren Spector. And in 2007, we got a spiritual sort of sequel to System Shock 1 and 2 in BioShock, as well as 2017's Prey. This game was the start of a lot of cool shit in video games. Like a lot of games that we have now were modeled after Looking Glass Studios, body of work, or whatever you want to call it. Hell, some of them were actually involved in some of these games, like Warren Spector and with Deus Ex. So, this game is special, is what I am trying and failing to say. This game is very special. So, yeah, this game is special. And we're playing it today on the CAVERN Spooks because, A, it's a spooky game, and B, it is, it's a special game. If not to you, it is to me. Turning down the volume on everything so that you can actually hear us. Ooh. All right. Let's get this party started. Oh. Oh. What? So yes, I have lowered the difficulty on this because, well, you know me by now. I always play on easy, and also this game frightens me. This game frightens me. Shodan frightens me. So yeah. You can call me a coward all you want, but hey, I'm the one playing the game. Unreal Engine.
The following daily summary for Thursday, April 7th, 2072 is brought to you by the Tri-Optimum Corporation. It's been a beautiful day in Atlanta. Sector 11 in particular has a beautiful sunset right
right? What do we got here? Let's see. We have a cool looking guitar, a generic game pig, cool ass looking horse, CD player, a helmet, a H.R. Giger-esque poster. Brute forcing password. Parkmaster. Battle Hogs. Space Minotaur. Bathroom. I just realized this entire place is pixelated, but not quite. It's not like it's noticeable, but also not that noticeable. If that makes any sense.
Sorry for being gone so long. I have returned.
I'm back.
You might have probably already guessed via the background noise, but there was a vacuum going.
Ah.
So what I miss?
Well,
Besides apparently dying and or getting kidnapped.
we're in the future of 2072. We were in New Atlanta. We are a hacker. Oh!
But I feel like this guy should be harassing Gordon Freeman.
Ethical restraints? What? Why would you... this is a cyberpunk feature. Of course they would want to remove ethical restraints. Ow. Try Optimum.
It legit sounds like a toothpaste brand. Behold, people, this is the future we get if RoboCop doesn't somehow help in the destruction of OCP.
Okay. Alright, I guess I will push the button if I can. There we go. Okay.
We got someone. Employ 2-4601. I'm Rebecca Lansing, a counter-terrorism consultant to our Optimum. Here's the situation. Our scans of the station show biological outbreak is in progress. We're in calls, blackouts, and shutdowns is unresponsive. And worse yet, the mining laser is charging a potential strike on Earth. Big data has comments on label levels.
I'll turn him into a flea. A tiny, insignificant flea. Then I'll put that flea inside of a box. Then I'll put that box inside of another box. And then I'll mail it to myself. And when it arrives, I'll thrash it with a hammer!
Alright, so Citadel Station is fucked.
Almost like naming something Citadel inevitably leads to this result.
It's almost like removing Shodan's ethical whatever was a bad idea.
No. It's always a perfect idea. Just ask GLaDOS. By the way, she requests another shipment of human test subjects.
Damn it.
Somehow she made it through 50,000 in 3 days.
That's a robot. Hello. Oh, fuck! Alpha 5, why?
You know, I'm glad I'm not the only one who was thinking that when I saw the shape of his head. I was legit about to call it Alpha 5000.
Oh, there's another one.
It's actually kind of impressive to think about how the lifespan of each Alpha unit, that by the year 3020, like 3015, 3020, something like that, whatever Hyperforce starts, they're only up to 55.
Damn.
1,000 years from now, and they've only gone from Alpha 5 in the 90s to 55. That speaks to the genuine longevity of the design, that they've only made it that far in 1,000 years. Both for good and for ill, because Zordon only went through like 5 iterations of Alpha in the span of like a couple of million years. I'm not sure if that's just the lifespan of the Alpha units without any form of ranger issues going on, or just how well Zordon took care of his robot buddy. Which, can we bring up the subtle horror of the fact that he keeps the parts from the decommissioned Alphas in the command center basement before that command center gets blown up?
That's a little weird, I'll admit.
That's how we know what Alpha 4 looked like, by the way.
Oh?
When Goldar and Rito tunneled underneath the command center to plant their little bomb at the end of MMPR, they bump into a bunch of spare Alpha parts, or what we thought was just spare parts, in a box in the command center basement, but those were later confirmed to be the remains of Alpha 4.
That's... damn. Ah!
Which, as with all Power Ranger discussions, eventually brings me back to Forever Red. I cannot seem to escape this Wild Force 10th Anniversary special. But, you're familiar with the Scorpion Rain hoax, yes?
The what?
The Scorpion Rain hoax.
No.
So, during the kind of lifespan of Turbo and afterwards, there was kind of this online hoax being thrown together about this kind of lost media Mandela effect bullshit about how a special that only aired in Australia called Scorpion Rain, that was made up of stitched together stock footage and bad dub over actors, essentially trying to create a more solid conclusion to Zeo to lead into Turbo, leading to the destruction of the Zeo Zords, Lord Zed and Serpentera being defeated, with Serpentera crashing on the moon. All that good shit.
Right.
Well, several of the people responsible for that hoax wound up in the writing staff for Power Rangers Wild Force, who wrote Forever Red with the idea that that hoax could then become canon. That's why Serpentera was on the moon instead of in Master Vile's corner of the galaxy. It's also why Tommy refers to destroying their leaders when bringing up the Machine Empire. Because while it is arguably technically correct with the Z-Wave destroying all of the Machine Empire, or specifically the Royal House of Gadgetry, it's not exactly what they're referring to. I bring this up because there was a very specific thing they were gonna do with the Alpha we met on board the Astro Megaship Mark II, the one voiced by returning actor Richard Horvitz, that was going to be kind of morbid. That was and was not Alpha 5.
Oh boy.
The backstory goes that Tommy, among a few other Rangers, went to Eltar to back them up in the aftermath of the Z-Wave, push out any forces that managed to remain. And in the process, he found the destroyed remains of Alpha 5, and used them to build Alpha 7. Personality and memory is intact completely, so it is technically still Alpha 5, but upgraded and turned into a living, mobile Ranger information database. For which Tommy would effectively go on doing a little detective work, recording the antics of every Ranger team after the space team and uploading them into Alpha 7's memory core. Also establishing communications between every team. Some of this is starting to sound familiar, isn't it?
A little bit.
I do think that in the Hasbro era of Power Rangers, they did actually, like, the Neo Saban / Hasbro eras, I think they did take some cues from this idea and effectively recycle them. But, yeah. The Disney era even kind of took some cues from this with the clip show episode they played that was meant to be like a celebration of Power Rangers' anniversary up to that point. The Legacy of Power.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be the database collected inside of Alpha 7. Before Alpha 7's role ultimately got super nerfed in the rewrites.
Oh my god, what the fuck are you?
A flame-throwing scorpion. A scorpion blowtorch. That's, yeah, that's strange. Fun fact, though, If you recall the snippets I showed you of the alternate history of the Power Rangers team from Felix's universe,
Mm-hmm.
I took some hints from Scorpion Rain for how they transferred from Zeo to Turbo.
Oh.
Largely being that final confrontation with Serpentera. Lord Zed making good on that we're back promise and attempting to destroy the Earth with Serpentera for all the trouble it's caused him. Forcing the Zeo Rangers to use basically every power and Zord at their disposal to stop the thing. Ultimately failing to destroy it, only disabling it. Let that sink in, that the most powerful Zords and Rangers of the time could not destroy Serpentera. Just shut it down. Because, like, we are effectively talking the Zeo Rangers at the end of their show at their most powerful.
Damn.
But, yeah. The original point I was gonna make and why it led back into Scorpion Rain and the Alpha thing is that we've been through a lot of them. I'm not sure if it's a funny fact or a sad one that they have a tendency to get destroyed trying to help the Rangers. In the Boom Studios comics, for instance, they actually made a different model of Alpha that was supposed to be more combat-oriented. And that thing was a goddamned menace!
You talking about Alpha 1?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I thought the Rangers were unnecessary.
Like, Alpha 1 was a straight-up menace. I'll give it to the Boom Studios comics where it's due. They take what was possible in Power Ranger canon and they play with it to the fullest extent when possible. The origins of the Psycho Rangers, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
Psycho Green. Menace is too kind of word. And at the same time, I can't fully hate him because of how tragic his backstory is. Largely being, effectively, the whipping boy of his entire team. This is why you treat your 6th Rangers kindly. In fact, not just your 6th Rangers, your entire team. It's kind. Like, just do it because it's right, because it's decent, and above all, because it's just kind. That's why we end every stream now with be good to each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lesson the world needs to remember. Yeah, we tend to abandon treat others the way you want to be treated fairly quickly because we often think, well, if they're not going to treat me the way they want, I'm not going to give them that courtesy. But, like, it's that level of just refusing to give a shit that leads to the way the world is. It doesn't have to be this way. course, if there's anything people hate more than being mistreated, it's being called out.
Yep.
Because the one thing people hate above all else is being wrong.
It says it requires 5 credits, and I got 7.
What is it?
It's basically a medical store.
Ah, you're picking up med kits then.
Trying to.
The way you were jostling around there, I thought you were getting hit.
Nope. Just trying to figure out how this damn thing works.
You might need to insert each credit manually or something.
Wait, now I only have 2.
You inserted the credits. It says 5 now. Just press the button for the thing you want.
Oh, thank God.
I don't know if you've stumbled into that on your own or if my suggestion had anything to do with that, but at least we have an idea of what we're doing now. So, are there any ideas for Odyssey that you've had bouncing around your head lately, or what?
Not lately, no. Been a little preoccupied.
Fair enough. I just figured I've been rambling on long enough. I might give you the option. You came up with your own Power Rangers team at one point, didn't you?
Yes.
Supposed to be the most unlikely people possible?
Yes. I don't think I ever came up with a name for them. Actually, no, you helped me with a name. I just don't remember what it was. They were element themed. I remember that.
Chances are we did come up with a name and I just forgot it. I mean, like, we probably did write it down somewhere.
Probably. I do remember the 5 of them were not people you would expect to be Power Rangers.
Like, we've had former criminals, for instance.
Yes. Like, the Red Ranger was a member of a gang. The Blue Ranger was a crooked cop. Green Ranger was an incarcerated felon. Yellow Ranger was a con artist. And the Pink Ranger was a prostitute. However, if you actually looked like beyond the surface, there's more to these characters than initially thought. The Red Ranger joined a gang to keep his family safe. The Blue Ranger was framed. The Green Ranger was also he was also, well, not framed, but he was arrested for a crime he did not commit. Is this a gun? Yes! The Yellow Ranger was a runaway. And was trying to, survive, hence the con artist shit. And the Pink Ranger was taken from her home and auctioned off as a sex slave. By the time when they become Rangers, so here's the thing that unites them all. The day they became Rangers is also the day they died. So the Red Ranger was shot by a rival gang member during a turf war of sorts. The Blue Ranger was... Oh, hey, camera. Whack!
I do that to every camera I see in Aperture. Honestly, that probably sums up what actually happened to the Blue Ranger, too. Okay, camera. Whack!
Yeah, essentially, yeah, he basically got whacked.
Hey guys, check out my new camera. Bang! Oh hey, this isn't the camera.
Because he was uncovering some actual crooked cops. They got the drop on him, and they, well,
They were less than kind.
yep.
So each ranger effectively met their demise in order to become a ranger.
Yep. When they died, they were each sort of revived by their specific element. So when the Red Ranger had been shot, there's a lot of Molotov cocktails being thrown around. I bring this up because, well, his element's fire. The fire consumes him, but does not harm him. fact, next thing he knows, he wakes up at home. Unsure of what happened, but he knows that he died.
The Blue Ranger was fitted with some weights and thrown into the harbor. And with his element being water, you can imagine what happened.
Hey, did you know that drowning is one of the most agonizingly painful ways to go?
Yes.
Well, let's just say I don't think he had much fun.
He wakes up on trying to think. A harbor, like a harbor can lead to like a beach or something, right?
Yep.
Okay, so he wakes up on a beach. Not like a touristy beach, mind you. I heard a camera. And, oh, that's a lot of skulls. So yeah, he ends up waking up on a beach, knowing that he drowned, knowing that he died. The Green Ranger gets shivved in prison and gets buried in a shallow grave. Next thing he knows, he is waking up out of the grave as if nothing happened.
Probably thinking, what the fuck just happened?
Yup. A pistol! Oh, it's damaged. I can't use it. Fuck! Anyway, the Yellow Ranger was struck by lightning when she was beaten to death.
And that scared off her attackers.
Yep. Basically, her conning caught up to her, and some very angry people wanted to talk to her with their fists.
They were after some five-finger discounts, or perhaps refunds, would be the more accurate word.
And as for the Pink Ranger, when she was killed, there was a hurricane. Or twister, or whatever.
We'll say tornado.
Big spinny wind thing. So, the reason for her getting murdered was she had essentially she was bought and sold, right? She was kidnapped. She was sold. She was sold to a pervy old man who, in order to keep a secret, legally adopted her.
That never goes wrong. Please tell me how it went wrong.
Well, after quite some time of being used as his personal plaything, she started reading, let's say. The man that bought her was very rich and had a lot, including a private library. From which the Pink Ranger learned of some very interesting ways to fake a heart attack. Or rather, to make a heart attack.
It will look like an accident, old man.
Not that you deserve it. And not that you deserve an accident. I don't know, that still sounds too nice.
I mean, to once again borrow the quote from FNAF, the door to hell is opened, so don't keep the devil waiting. Honestly, I don't remember what I called them before, but Power Rangers Karma definitely sounds about right.
But yeah, she killed him, or, well, what do you mean no return value? Oh, there's only 9 of them. Fuck. We need 10 for return value. Damn it. So yeah, she made it look like he died from from a heart attack, and because he had to make it look, you know, not suspicious at all, she was involved in the will, although he had
Well, actually, no, that's not. Forget what I said. What I said was a lie. No, what happened was she inserted herself into the will. She made sure that she would inherit every penny he had. And the house. However, some people that worked for him kind of caught on to the fact that, yeah, he wouldn't have fucking done that. So, they break in and, well, beat her to death.
Power Rangers Revenant also seems about accurate for the setup you've got here. From the Oxford Dictionary, Revenant. Noun. A person who has returned, especially supposedly from the dead. Its origin comes from the French word revenir, which is to literally come back. If you want something more in the elemental persuasion, I'd have to look later.
Alright.
These were just the immediate things I could think of. I do think that given the whole back from the dead nature, maybe a couple of universal standard ghostly abilities could also be fit into their toolkit.
Maybe.
Like how the Turbo Rangers back in Power Rangers Turbo all had some degree of super speed, let these Rangers have the ability to phase through solid objects.
So these Rangers would, like, after gaining their abilities, or after coming back to life and everything, would end up receiving a summons from a unknown party, saying that they'll explain everything that has happened to them in the past couple, like everything that has happened to them as of late. With few options, four of them end up going there. The fifth one, the prisoner, is he is taken in, like he is transferred to fuck. Where the hell did you come from?
That brings back some horrifying memories from the pit.
So anyway,
the prisoner is transferred to the compound this mysterious benefactor is at. it may or may not be it may or may not be on the up and up because, well, I mean, technically speaking, said prisoner was supposed to die in prison and, you know, never get out. And that kind of didn't happen.
He was legally dead for 5 minutes. It counts. What's funny is that the way you describe these Rangers, I kind of keep thinking of, like, a bizarro mirror world, almost Shattered Glass-esque Mystic Force.
Really?
Remember, the Mystic Force Rangers also were imbued with elemental powers.
Right.
Coming from all walks of life, mystical whole uprising kind of bullshit going on. And for whatever reason, whenever I hear you describe these Rangers, I keep picturing the big tree that the Mystic Rangers use as their home base.
I can tell you right now, they don't use a big tree.
I know. I'm saying that's just what my brain keeps instantly putting into my, well, brain. Well, we've described the Rangers themselves. What are they up against?
Well, before we get to what they're fighting against, I do feel it is necessary to talk about how, or rather why, they got the powers. The Earth is, well, we all know this, the Earth is a living thing.
In multiple respects.
It has a sort of defense system for threats that it cannot deal with on its own. That defense system is the elements of life. Said elements choose an avatar or champion.
A champion.
Yes.
A champion, a representative, like, just someone to wear their respective colors in a battle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, this is usually when there are threats that the Earth cannot take care of on its own. Like in the vein of, say, an alien invasion.
Alien invasions. That's... well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, it's a very familiar concept of Power Rangers. Technically, the majority of villain factions that we've gotten over the years have been alien invasions in some capacity.
Mm-hmm. Now, there was a scientist who... Oh, it's bathroom. Okay. There was a scientist who learned about this through ancient scriptures, cave paintings, what have you. When he brought his findings to the scientific community, he was laughed out. And said scientist also learned that there was a threat coming to Earth that the regular chosen champions would not be able to beat on their own. In his attempt... Oh, shit, turret.
Yeah, those are nasty.
In his attempt to try and strengthen the elements of life and their champions, the Earth saw it as a threat, or saw his attempts as a threat initially. He got no body no more. The scientist is literally a brain in a jar.
Woof.
The Earth eventually realized, oh wait, this guy's trying to help. And that's why he's a brain in a jar and not, dead. And with the scientists' help, they were able to enhance future champions. With new art, with armor, weapons, vehicles, things that were not originally available to the champions of yesteryear. Like if I had to make like a comparison, the old champions were more like benders from like Avatar. If that makes sense.
Alright, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wait to do that. I'm just gonna pause for a sec.
Power Rangers Gaia. Yes, a part of me is still trying to think of a name.
So the mysterious benefactor is a scientist. He knows that that these 5 people that have died and have been resurrected are the 5 new champions. And in order to prepare them for what's coming, he has invited them to his compound.
And also made a shady dealing with a prison in order to get the Green Ranger to his compound. Granted, for the scientist, it's like, well, most of my money has been used to create this compound and everything you're gonna need to fight. And I don't exactly really need money anymore. Don't need to eat. You know, brain in a jar.
Anyway, yeah, the five have been chosen by Earth to be its new champions, using the elements of life, or being chosen by the elements of life to represent, as I'm sure you've guessed by now, fire, water, earth, lightning, and wind.
I do have one other question. It's probably not one you're expecting.
Okay.
Is this an alternate universe, or is this taking place in the main PR timeline?
Alternate.
Fair enough. The reason I asked was the inevitable question of, if it took an alien invasion to activate this team, then what exactly made this invasion different than, say, I don't know, Rita Repulsa, Lord Zed, the Machine Empire, Astronema?
The easy answer would be that there was already someone else to take care of it. But I wanted this to be in its own universe, so I didn't have to, write.
I mean, so long as you have that answer, that is all I need.
But, yeah, no.
As for what they're facing, a very old, very ancient. Old and ancient pretty much mean the same thing. What the fuck am I saying? Conquering empire.
Supposedly, their emperor was the first living thing in existence. And they have set their sights on Earth as another planet to conquer. A sort of scouting party is sent out. The captain of the Royal Guard and his 2 apprentices, the
Monster maker of the group, which also serves as their ship's engine, a Imperial liaison to make sure things go smoothly, and then the pilot of the ship,
who is a non-combatant. Although, if he does have to fight, he is actually quite a good fighter. Even tripping up the captain of the Royal Guard.
A case of, it's not that I can't fight, I choose not to.
more or less. Now then. Also, oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. So, on top of all that, one of the Royal Guard, one of the knights of the Royal Guard, eventually starts having second thoughts. Especially after he meets the Yellow Ranger and kind of falls in love with her. Much to her shock and somewhat horror. Eventually, he eventually joins the Rangers in their fight to protect Earth, becoming a sort of Ranger-like. With his armor being, he's changed his armor to look similar to their uniform, but just different enough. You know, like a Sixth Ranger. However, you may have noticed I said Ranger-like and not Sixth Ranger.
I get the feeling I know where this is going.
He eventually died. Huh?
Go ahead. I was just gonna say something that was probably gonna end up being wrong.
He eventually dies. Killed in combat with his commanding officer. Hi, Shodan.
I could say the same to you, computer lady. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna grab a snack.
All right. Well, damn.
I return. Proceed.
Welcome back. I died.
That is one of the most hilariously nonchalant ways I've heard that said.
Also got a non-standard game over in which it showed Shodan collecting my body to use as a cyborg.
Huh.
So anyway,
So we've basically got the gist of the Power Rangers thing for now.
I was going to talk about the 6th Ranger, but
You know what? Please do. I legit almost forgot you were doing that.
So, the knight that joins the team, his species is actually shapeshifters. They don't usually make that known to people, not even to the Empire. And oops. When he died, he kind of reverted back to his true form. And the armor that he used was gifted to the Yellow Ranger, because once he joined the team over time, she did start to kind of fall for him, which makes his death all the more worse. However, a few months later, after they've, buried him on Earth, something unknown comes to Earth. An element of life from another planet. This element is different. It is crystalline. It is
for lack of a better phrase, alien.
Yep. When it reaches their planet, it happens to touch down, or rather crash, at a very specific location. Yeah? Apparently I'm being called to dinner.
It is almost 4:30.
Oh boy. Well, let me wrap this up, and then we'll take a quick break. So basically, this alien element of life crashes into the grave of the knight. When the team goes to investigate, there's nothing but a crater. There's no body either. Eventually, while fighting a tough enemy, a new ranger appears. A silver one. Once the fighting is done and he demorphs, he looks almost exactly like their alien knight friend when he had a human disguise on. The element of life brought him back, but there's one problem. It's not him. He'd been dead for too long.
So, basically, a whole new person was essentially created using the shape-shifting abilities of the Knight's species, and combined with the element of life from space. They basically create a whole new human being, and I do mean human. He no longer has any alien traits or DNA. He is 100% human, with no memory of the man that came before him. And that's it. Hello?
Still here.
Okay, like I said, that's it.
Effectively, they took the remains of something old and made something new out of it.
Mm-hmm. Although one could argue it was also a desecration of life.
Of a grave.
Well, yeah, of a grave to create a new life. But hey, it's alien. It doesn't understand how this planet works.
It's a cultural thing. You can tell a lot about a culture by how they treat their dead.
Anyway, I'm gonna go eat dinner and then. You know what? This game has. I love. Okay, so first of all, this game's good. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise.
But it can be frustrating.
It can be confusing. So, we're just going to leave it here for today. And tomorrow we will be back with Madison. Unless Webb is feeling better, and then we're playing Still Weeks to Deep. But anyway. Sorry for the ranting. There wasn't really much to say about System Shock outside of Shodan, who we saw twice. Technically 3 times, because she was talking shit when she used my corpse as to create a cyborg. But anyway,
Thanks for putting up with us today.
yeah. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Hopefully we'll have more to say. It's not just our ramblings.
I mean, case of the Mondays and all.
Yeah. So,
Thank you all for watching.
yep. This has been Vegas Bear 92.
With Bakumon.
And y'all know the deal by now. If you like what you saw and want to see us keep doing it, feel free to support us in any way you wish. The link is down below on Twitch.
Be it monetarily, engagement, YouTube subscription, just sharing us around, every little bit helps.
And as always, stay safe, stay comfy, stay hydrated, stay healthy. Be good to each other. And stay spooky. Peace.
And remember, always break the AI that talks shit to you.